Hey everybody, welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host and international award-winning Make Every Second Count speaker. Now, I am super excited about tonight because we're going to learn from somebody that has helped or has pulled herself out of depression, and she now helps other people do the same thing in life. So that's pretty cool. But I ask you if you would please share this episode out. Let others know that they need to be watching with us because this information is valuable. And I know that everybody is having mental health issues at the moment, myself and kind of included. So I just would like you to share this out. And don't forget to hit that like button. Give us all kinds of thumbs up. Give us hearts. Give us frowny faces. Give us cry faces. Just help us check the algorithms on any of the social media platforms we're on. So, with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly, how are you doing?
I am great. How are you, Jeff?
Fantastic. That's a very nice view you have there.
Thank you. I'm in Carmel, California, so it's still light
Oh,
here.
well, hey, wherever you are, it's beautiful looking. So that's pretty awesome. So if you would like to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell everybody where you're calling in from and who you are and what you do, and more importantly, why you do what you do.
I would love to. I'm Kimberly Godsey. I'm a cardiology nurse practitioner, and I currently practice in Monterey, California, but I'm actually from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, wait.
Um, yes. And I've been out here for about 4 years, but I've been practicing as an RN for 20 years and a nurse practitioner for 10 years, mostly specializing in cardiology. But I also have taken a little dive into helping people with their mental health too, especially through the pandemic.
Yeah, that's definitely a difficult thing to do. I know a lot of people had issues with mental health, especially during the pandemic. So, sorry, I'm inviting some people to the show right now, but I'm going to look up, don't worry, because I am paying attention. I'm just doing other things too. So,
Multitasking.
yes, you know how it works. But I have to ask, has there been anything that you had to grow through? Now, check this out. I say grow through. I don't say just go through because in order to get through things, I believe that we have to grow through things. Now, I was involved in a severe car accident when I was 17 years old. I spent 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital. They told me I wouldn't walk, but guess what? Here I am. And I want to help other people learn that they can accomplish what they want to accomplish too. So, has there been anything that you have had to grow through to get through?
Jeff, I love that mindset. I think we either grow or we don't grow, and I believe in trying to work hard to grow every single day. Now, some days it's harder than others, and I've certainly had my own struggles with my own mental health. I was a marathon runner for years, and when I was doing that, I used to joke. I'm like, well, I started running for vanity, now I do it for sanity. Because I that was my mental health. I mean, that's really how I dealt when I would run. It would put me in a very meditative state, and I would be able to really kind of, if I had a problem, figure it out or find a new place to look at it and just deal with it and move on. But I ended up suffering injuries of my own. I have multiple spinal injuries that stopped me from being able to run. And there was a point in time where even just normal, minimal physical activities like getting up out of the chair was difficult for me.
Yeah, I
And
know the feeling. Don't worry. I know exactly what you're saying there because things that were normal to my life every day as a 16-year-old boy became difficult or almost impossible when I turned 17. So I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, it really it's hard. It's hard not to be able to do that. And I also think that it really affects um, your mental health, but also your personal identity, which is difficult too. And it took over time as my health continued to decline. I didn't realize it, but all of a sudden one day I was struggling with my mental health to the point where I started having suicidal ideation. And which
Ooh,
for me was, that was tough. I mean, I outwardly had anything I ever wanted and married and with a loving husband and three beautiful daughters and nice home, successful career, like all these
that,
external things. But inwardly, I was miserable. And I found myself waking up every day just loathing myself and not fully understanding why. And I really had to take some time to examine myself, and I realized that while my physical health was ailing, I forgot to check in on my mental health as I used to do so diligently. And I really started to force myself, even though I couldn't run and do all those things I used to do. I knew I had to do something. And I'm sure you went through that too, where it's just one baby step in front of the other to be able to kind of increase your strength both physically and mentally. Um, and still on to this day, I have to remind myself. Everybody has good and bad days, and
yeah.
um, but I believe taking care of your mental health should be just like going to your gym for the physical health, and access to it should be just as easy. Because taking care of your mental health isn't, for me, what I learned. It's not about waiting to go or going to a therapist once a year or waiting till you have suicidal thoughts to ask for help. We have to check in every day on our mental health to help keep that as healthy as we possibly can. And it's so important.
So, what was it like having, or you said you were a passionate runner. Now, what was it like to have that ripped away from you?
Um, it was devastating. It still is. It's been several years, and I still can't run. And and again, for me, it's not even just about the identity. I mean, it really is about that was my best place. I felt like I could meet myself out on the road alone and independent and strong. And um, it's still hard. It's still hard for me. And I'm fortunate in so many ways, but it's a hard. I don't have. It's hard not to have an outlet. And taking care of your mental health, it's very important to have your outlet. And it's different. Outlets are different for everybody. I know some people outlets are more artistic and painting
Yeah.
or writing. What the things like running and painting, writing, or working in the yard have in common for hobbies or outlets is that they actually kind of put you, it helps calm your nervous system, and it helps you feel it almost like a meditative state. And so those outlets are very, very important for people to have.
Yeah. That is so true. Now, I have a friend named Tammy who does the she does a challenge called 1 Day of Kindness, and she's trying to do that for 365 days. But what is it that giving yourself a task at hand, like you're running, someone else is gardening, someone else is working out, or her 1 Day of Kindness challenge, how can that help you out in the long run?
Love that question, and I love the everyday of kindness. How that helps and is that so when we are stressed, it puts our bodies, it floods our bodies with these stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And when we're always stressed like that, then it can affect your physical health, and it keeps people in this revved up fight or flight state. You know, the part of your nervous system, which is your sympathetic nervous system, that kicks in as if like a tiger was chasing you. Yeah, and some people live in that state every day, and we're not meant to live in that state every day because we're not usually being chased by tigers. But what those hobbies do and is one, it kind of it puts you in a mindful state where you're really focusing on whatever that one task on hand is, and not really focusing on the past or the future. You're just dealing with the moment, which is really important because that actually triggers your calming part of your nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system. And so doing these, we call them hobbies, but it's more of something that's important to do for self-care. It really literally physiologically helps calm your nervous system. And so they're very important. Children do them all the time, but as we get older and become adults, we forget how important those are. And almost as if it doesn't and shouldn't take a priority in our lives, but it should take a priority to help take care of your mental health. But also, if you take care of your mental health, it helps take care of your physical health too, because poor mental health and chronically stressed states actually can lead to cardiovascular health problems like high blood
Wow.
pressure. And the American Heart Association recently put out, there's an article that they put out that showed if they were measuring stress levels in your body, and every time your cortisol levels double, your risk or a person's risk of a cardiovascular event can go up to 90%.
Wow.
90, which is I even though I worked in cardiology for 20 years, was shocked to hear that statistic. I was
Is that why most heart attacks in America happen on, when is it, Monday morning?
Monday morning. Yes, Monday morning. Yep.
And that probably has to do with the stress of getting up and being like, oh, I gotta go back to work. I gotta go deal with this environment. I gotta go deal with these people. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. So there's a couple theories when you're talking about that. One theory is that people are more likely to not do healthy things on the weekend. So we're more likely to overindulge, not take care of ourselves, maybe overconsume alcohol. That coupled with the stress of Monday morning is the theory behind why, yeah, most heart attacks occur Monday morning. And they also, there's a higher incidence of heart attacks and cardiovascular events around the holidays, and that which is when people tend to be a lot more stressed.
Wow. Am I back?
Yep, you're back.
Woo! I'm sorry, technical difficulties. I constantly put my foot up on the wall right here in front of me. And when I do that, I pull the cord for the internet out of my computer. So I had to quickly get that back in the computer. Like, oh man, I messed up.
It
So,
happens. It's life.
I know you said that it can, the mental side of things can really affect the brain, can really affect a person's body, even their heart.
Hmm.
But, well, the heart's in the body. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. But so you said that your mental health can affect your body and everything. So,
Hmm.
is there a way, something that you can do with your body, like sitting up straight or breathing or
Mhm.
concentrating on your breathing, is there any way that you can help lower the cortisol levels, the adrenaline in your body?
Yes, absolutely. So, one of my favorite ways, there's several different ways you can do it, and one of my favorite ways is breathing. So, our bodies are equipped with this wonderful, wonderful nerve called your vagus nerve that goes from your brain to your heart and to your lungs. And this nerve, when stimulated, actually can trigger your parasympathetic or the calming part of your nervous system. And the way I like to do it best, and so you increase the pressure inside your chest. Um, and when you do that, it can kind of trigger it. And my favorite breathing technique is if you take the deepest, deepest breath in, as deep as you possibly can, and you hold it. And you want to hold it for 5 seconds at least to increase that pressure there. And then after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you let it out, but let it out slow and controlled for at least 7 seconds longer than you held it in. And this really, you can almost, when you try it at home, you can almost feel the effects instantly, and it calms your nervous system. So it's a technique to get your body out of immediate stress. Now, it's
So,
not going to fix everything, but it is going to calm you. It's
yeah.
going to put you present in the moment. It's going to give you a second before you react, and also help kind of relax. And I do it all the time, over and over and over again. But and it's interesting, this nerve, it also, like when we have people in the hospital come in, they have really, really, really fast heartbeats, rate like 180. A lot of times we'll have them hold their breath and kind of bear down to put that pressure in there to instantly drop their heart rate. And so we actually use it medically too. So it's a great, great tool.
Yeah, so when they're breathing in for as deep as they can, how should they do it? Should they breathe in through the mouth or through the nose?
Well, so it doesn't, I like through the mouth because I feel like it gives you an ability to get greater breath in, but some people prefer the nose. And so if you want to practice with me, we can do the breathing technique together.
All right, cool.
All right,
Go
let's do
for
it.
it.
So I'm gonna, so don't do it just yet. So I'll instruct you to take the deepest breath in. I'll count for you to hold it, and then I'll count again to 7 seconds to let the breath out. Okay, and everyone who's watching can do this because you really, literally can feel it. So, are you ready?
All right, yeah,
All right.
I'm looking forward to this.
Great. Deepest breath in. Deep, 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 deep. And hold it. 1, hold it. 2, hold it. 3, hold it. 4, hold it. 5. Slow and control it out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let it go. Can you
Wow.
feel that instant calm?
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I do that exercise with my patients all the time.
Wow. That's really powerful because I honestly could feel that.
Hmm.
That was really cool. I hope everybody out there did it too. Um, Facebook is weird. It doesn't, it shows me that some people are watching, but it doesn't show me accurately anymore about
Mm.
who's watching. But I want to say hi to Ben Bruce, who said hello, Jeff, and hello, Kimberly. He is one of the loyal people that watch this show, and he is from Nigeria. So
Wow.
this is an international show. Watch
Wow.
out, Kimberly. You're getting big now. Now, you've already done a TEDx talk, so
I did, yeah.
yeah, you're bigger than you think. And then it also says my dad is watching, and he's from the same town as me in Piqua, Ohio, right across
Yes.
the street, actually. So, but we have another Buckeye on here with us. So that's 3 OHI.
Yes.
We need the future O.
Love
So,
Buckeyes.
yep. So Do you have any suggestions for other people that might be dealing with depression, anxiety, stress, besides what you just showed me?
Yeah, yeah. One, I want to, really, we got to take the stigma out of mental health. I don't, if you have a brain, you will at some point have struggles with mental health or how you're feeling emotionally. The same way we know if we have a body that at some point it's
Hmm.
something's not going to work right and we're going to have to go to see a healthcare provider to help get that better. And so really it's so important to for it to be okay and to one ask for help. And so that's so important. But the other things that I like to do with my patients, I start out with that breathing technique. One, because it calms the nervous system, but also two, I feel like it puts them ready to learn in a place where they're ready and able to receive more information. And
I
so,
think it helps them because it helps them get in the moment. And
yeah,
when people are more in the moment, they're more inclined to actually pay attention.
yes, I 100% agree. And then the other, we were touching on it earlier, but the importance of mindfulness, whatever, bringing those hobbies into your life so that it helps calm the nervous system. And so you really have time, helps you reset your body. And the other two things that I think are really important, and some people are think no brainers, but they don't realize how important these two things are for your actual mental health. They know eating healthy is important for your physical health and exercise is important for your physical health. And I know sometimes those are really hard things to do, but it's also equally important for our mental health. So eating food that nourishes the body, like fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, and minimizing highly processed foods or foods that are high in salt and sugar, really actually can affect how you feel physically and emotionally. And so it's really important to make sure that we're nourishing our body with healthy food. And then the other is exercise. And exercise doesn't have to be like going out and running a marathon.
Yeah.
Um, it really is just movement in your day, and so you're physically moving. When we exercise or walk, it does two things. One, all those stress hormones, we're able to helps us it move through our body. And two, if you simply taking a walk outside, after 20 minutes outside, your brain starts to secrete like feel good hormones, like
Wow.
dopamine and serotonin. And so those little simple things we can do to help keep both our mental health and our physical health healthy and fit and help us feel our best. And I want to encourage people, and I have to do this and remind myself all the time. If I'm having a moment where I'm not feeling good, or I'm down on myself, or I just feel a little bit more depressed or anxious than I'd like, I kind of take note and I start to think, what am I missing? What things am I doing that are good? And what am I doing that, or what am I not doing that I could be doing to help myself feel better? And I really, and sometimes I was with my family not that long ago, and it was a stressful weekend, and I was getting cranky, and I thought, what did I do? And I was like, I haven't moved this weekend, physically moved. And so I went for a walk. I came back to my family refreshed and ready to take on the rest of the stress of the weekend. And so it can really make a huge difference in your day to day life, as well as long term, improve your long term health.
Now, I know that Tony Robbins is a big one on change your state. Now, this can mean the way you're sitting, this can mean the way you're breathing, this can mean the way you're thinking. But is that something you would suggest to people, or how would you suggest that people find the correct states for their mental health?
I love that. And I absolutely agree and believe in changing your state. And whether, if for me on that particular moment was just, I needed to get up and move and just change my scenery and really try to just kind of look around and absorb nature. But the other thing that I think is important for people to realize is that um, some people think their thoughts control them, right? But if you become more of an observer of your thoughts, and when they come through and there's a negative thought that comes through, recognize the negative thought
Well,
and then
let it
replace
go.
it. Yeah, let it go and replace it with a positive thought. And when you do that, and the more you do that, it'll become instinctual. You will have more positive thoughts than negative thoughts. And it will also make you keenly aware of how simply replacing a negative thought with a positive thought or a thought of gratitude of things that something you're grateful for to have in your life will change your state of mind. It makes a huge difference. And so then you learn you get to control your thoughts. Your thoughts don't get to control you.
Correct. And that was one of the first things that I really understood about personal development. That I used to go to Herbalife trainings all the time. I was a Herbalife distributor, and we would have personal development sections in the events all the time. And I was just sitting there one day, and I'm like, I loved all the rah rah and get going, and but I didn't really understand it. And then I heard Jim Rohn say, if you want things to change, you have to change. If
Yep.
you want things to get better, you have to get better. And
Yep.
that completely hit me. That took me by surprise. And I was just like, wow. So it's on me. If I
Yeah.
want things to change, it's on me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that was so that everything became clear once I understood those principles.
Yeah. It's a choice you get to make.
Yes, exactly. I have a group on Facebook called Make Every Second Count
Mm.
Mission. And in that group, the final thing I post every day, and hang on, let me see if I can find one. And I post the same final words. It is, remember that you are in complete control of your life. And that means that you are in control of your own happiness. So stop relying on others to make you happy. Take some responsibility and do it for yourself.
Absolutely. It's beautiful.
And that is, I am reminded by that when you said that we control our thoughts don't control us. So I find that awesome. But I have to ask Kimberly, do you have any contact information you would like to give out to people?
I do. So I have a website that is temporarily down right now, but it's coming
Oh,
back up. We're just making some changes. It's Kimberly Godsey, Godsey, my last name, NP .com.
so
And then,
nurse practitioner
yes, absolutely, yes.
at what.com? I'm sorry.
It's KimberlyGodseyNP.com.
All right,
Is the
KimberlyGodseyNP.com. That's
That's the
awesome.
website. And if you
Now
want to
I
email,
will make sure I put that in the comments after the show, but I'm not really able to do that at the present moment. I'm trying to stay mindful right now.
yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And do you have any social medias you would like to give out or not?
Yeah, I mean it's Kimberly Godsey. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm not as much of an Instagrammer, but I
Neither
spend
am I.
most of my time on LinkedIn. So that's where I really put a lot of my professional things out there. So and it's like Kimberly Godsey.
Well, that is fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy evening to be here with me. Go outside and enjoy that sun because that sun looks amazing for January,
Yeah.
and especially in Ohio. But I know you're in California, so.
Yeah, I'm blessed, but I'm from Ohio,
Yeah,
so
I know you
I
are.
know Ohio winters. So, but
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me, Jeff.
Yeah, I truly appreciate you being here tonight. Like I said, I know you're busy, so I thank you again.
Oh, thank
And
you.
you guys out there all have a great week. I'll see you back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, you guys have to do me a favor, including you, Kimberly. You have to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when the seconds are going to run out on your one life. Have a great night.
Take care.